on defense off the bye week, obviously you guys are making that a focal point, I'm sure. But what did you do during the bye week to approach that and address that, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, yeah, and again, we gave up too many big runs the other day. So obviously, we got to make those kind of corrections and identify the whys and what can we do better, those kind of things. But we really used the bye week to to just shore up on some of the the basic things, get a little head start on Oklahoma State, and get a chance to look at some of our younger players and give them some opportunities that they probably haven't been getting a lot of lately. So I'm able to rest guys that have played a lot of football, and but at the same time, it was a good fundamental week, and hopefully we'll be better coming out of it for it.
Yeah, Lance had told us that if it were a matter of just tweak this or one personnel there or something like that, it'd be easy to do. It's got to be tendencies, an overall look at the thing. Did you have enough time to kind of identify some of that stuff that he's
Yeah,
talking about?
we did like a self-scout, so we, what are we calling in situations? How effective has it been? What are we doing that we're doing the best? So we're kind of able to identify a few of those things, and and then try to just again shore up some of those things, and what types of plays have been hurting us the most, and the whys of those kind of things. So we did some of that work, and I've said this a bunch of times. When we function well together, we got 11 guys really doing their job the way that it's supposed to get done. We're a pretty good defense, and our problem there's typically a slip up here or there that creates situations, negative situations, and we're trying to address those and stay away from them, prevent them going forward.
Through the first 6.5 games of the season, you guys were really good at stopping the run, and then kind of the last 2.5 it slipped. I guess from the self-scout, what did you kind of learn about what maybe changed, or was it just the other team?
Well, some of it's the other team for sure. I don't think we didn't change a whole lot. I think we find out that we're pretty multiple as well. So I don't know that anybody's getting a huge beat on us and things like that. Like I said, the Oklahoma game, we just flushed it, and the Baylor game was, we had our moments, but there's, like I said, there's just some just some not good execution of some things we're trying to do. And quite honestly, probably had a call or two that I wish I could have back in that game. And if I had it to do over again, I'd do something different, but it is what it is. And, guys still got to make plays out there, so turn a bad call into a good one. So, so we learned a few things about ourselves, but I think we're on the right track. It's just, we just got to keep improving our execution and keep doing all the things that we say we want to do, which is play physical and play fast. And again, if we do those things, we're fine. So I'm hopeful and confident going forward we'll get back on track with some things like that.
Yeah, you mentioned the young players getting reps during the bye week. It's something Lance talked about as well. I guess on the defensive side, were there any young guys that kind of caught your attention?
Not specifically so much. They were pretty gassed a lot of times because they probably got more reps than they're really used to, and playing at an intensity level they might not quite exactly be used to. But I think guys like Davion Westmoreland, who's starting to get a little more time with the regular defense, but he shows up a lot in some of those things, and you can see his potential and his growth, and he's a big physical defensive end that I know is going to count into our plans going forward here. But I think a lot of those other guys, they're young guys, and a lot of those guys are first year in your program and some walk-on kind of guys sometimes. So they're out there busting their tail trying to make good things happen, and that's just encouraging. So overall, I thought it was productive.
Yeah, you mentioned the first guys in the first year with the program. How nice is it that this year those guys aren't having to play like Kobe and OJ, and how helpful is that for the future?
Well, I think it's good. I think that's part of the reason we're having some more success this year. But just year after year in the same system, the same way of doing things it's really helpful. Obviously, you can move forward to finer points of things. Go to the 300 and 400 level class instead of surviving in the 100 level class kind of thing. So I think we're making strides in that area, and hopefully those young guys, they can maybe jump up and be 200 level class guys now.
Hey Brian, you guys have had Oklahoma, didn't know who's going to start at quarterback. Baylor had the question. Now you got Oklahoma State. How do you guys handle that when there's all the questions about that?
Yeah, we just assume the guys are going to play, so we're not, I'm sure they're trying to get him ready to play, and we'll play whomever shows up. We're prepared to win no matter what. So I think they're the same team no matter who's playing quarterback. If you looked at them last year and you look at them this year, they haven't changed a whole lot. So I'm assuming they're pretty ingrained into their system, and who's ever quarterbacking is going to run their deal. So we haven't really talked a whole lot about it. I think obviously everybody's aware, but I just prepare for like we're going to get their best, and then that's how we're preparing.
With how much success Oklahoma State's had just recently and for a while, were you surprised at all that Kansas State handled them as well as they did?
Yeah, and that kind of happened to Oklahoma the week before we played them as well. So that seems to kind of be a kind of a deal for us. But yeah, I'm surprised, and I just think they probably feel like they didn't play very well and didn't do things that got them to be where they're at, and I'm sure they're locked back into some things now too. And so I don't think we're going to get their worst. I think we're going to get their best, and I don't know why we'd want it any other way. So we'll be ready for them, and whoever shows up to play, and I'm sure they'll be ready as well. So it'll be a good game.
It's not like it's going to be Buffalo in January or anything like that, but a little bit of weather might be in the forecast. What does that do for your defense? Do you have any idea yet?
I don't. We just play. Defense to me is an adaptation and reaction, and so we just adapt and move forward. So I don't know really. It's a long ways away yet, and you know how things change around here. So I'm not counting on anything just yet. But we'll deal with whatever. We've played in hot, cold, sun. We played in rain. So it's not going to bother me. I'll be in the press box. I'll be dry either way. So I'm not sure about you guys might want to bring, if you're outside, bring a rain jacket or something. But yeah, I don't even know it was raining. I had the West Virginia game. I didn't even know it was raining. I couldn't even tell. So, yeah. So I don't really think it changes game plan. Doesn't change approach. It's a field that's it's not going to be a mud bath out there. So we're just going to show up and play.
Obviously, there's a lot of tape on Spencer Sanders out there, considering he's been in college football for so long. But with someone like Gunnar Gundy, I guess where do you go for a scouting report on him, and what have you kind of seen?
Yeah, he played some last week. He's played spots in the past and played a little bit versus last year, I think. So, and we kind of look at those kind of things. And I know he was a good quarterback coming out of high school. He had offers and different things. He just chose to stay home there. And so I feel like he's a good quarterback, and he'll get better with time as well. With more playing time, I think he'll kind of get comfortable. So. I think he's good, and like I said, I think they're gonna continue to do the things that they do. So we're preparing for them, not necessarily for a certain guy, if I can say it that way. And I think Spencer I think he's a real catalyst for their offense, if you're asking, and he really makes them go. If he can't go, they'll find ways to make it happen. So we're prepared for whatever.
Is it noticeable how much better Lonnie looks from, I don't know, say 3 weeks ago?
Lonnie, yeah, I think he's doing well. I think he's obviously been doing well all year. So I think
health-wise.
Yeah, I think this last week probably really helped a guy like that a little bit, just to all those little accumulating nicks and bumps and bruises and things. I think that helps a guy, heal up and feel fresher and just kind of renewed a little bit. So I think for him and probably a few other guys as well, last week was a timely week in that respect. But he always practices hard and practices well, and he's always got enthusiasm. So I don't notice it from that standpoint as much. But we're gonna just need him down the stretch here. So so he's gonna have to buckle it up and pin his ears back and go.
Is Kobe another one of those guys that the week helped?
Yeah, well, for sure. You know, he's back practicing. We'll kind of see how it all plays out here through the week, but he's at least able to practice and do some things. So we got to monitor that closely, and I'm sure if he's able to play, he will. If he can't, he won't. And right now, I think we're at least on a track where, you know, it's a possibility at least right now. So yeah, he's made tremendous progress in you know, over a couple week span, you know, from, you know, really what that injury was to now, you know, it is what it is, but he's really lived in the training room and done all he can to get to where he's at. So I think he wants to play, those are all good signs that we're moving in the right direction.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.